Welcome back, this is Zoronden, and you're tuned in to my Pandaren Monk playthrough, Part 2. And this is the Wandering Isle. Just take a moment and look around. I mean, this is some beautiful scenery. And while I'm playing through, I will stop every once in a while and just kind of look around, because this is just glorious. Alright, let's go ahead and get started. What you will notice right away is you start without any weapons, and that's actually because Master Shang Zi here is going to give us a quest to go ahead and get that. Now, I could read through these quests for you, but what I will do is leave them up for a few seconds so that you can pause it and go ahead and read through them yourself. So we'll go ahead and go through that. And what we're going to get here is the quest to go get our hand wraps. The monk's starting weapons are actually just long pieces of cloth. Fairly amusing. Whatever, you know. Better than a fish, I guess. Or a fish could be kind of fun. Ignore that. Do need to go ahead and turn on auto looting here. So give me just a second to go ahead and do that. Alright, so we've equipped our hand wraps. Come back up to Master Shang Zi here. And we'll go ahead and grab the next quest. Now this quest is going to have us using our Pandaren monk ability called Jab. Jab is used when you just have fist weapons. And this ability actually changes depending on the weapon you have. So I think sword is slash, and maces are like bash or something. We'll see that as I get more weapons as I level. But for now, I just need to beat down a couple dummies. Luckily, there aren't too many people here. Early on in the beta, when they just sent out about 400,000 invites, you had probably 300 Pandarans here. You couldn't get a target dummy. You couldn't get anything. It was a real pain, but luckily everybody's gotten in their Pandaren starting characters and they're ready to move on, so we can go through here pretty unobstructed. Go ahead and turn in this quest. We're gonna get some initiate bracers. Standard kind of starter loot. What you will notice though is the next reward is the same item. You know, that's just some beta stuff that needs to be worked out, and they'll get that in order before it goes live. So now we're going to run over here, and what we need to do next is defeat 6 sparring trainees. Now, it's just kind of some simple find a guy and beat him. It's a simple generic quest. They don't aggro you like any other starting area. What I will do really quickly is I do prefer a lot of action bars myself. I don't know how you guys like your layout, but I'm used to having level 85s and whatnot and having abilities all over the place. So I'll go ahead and get that set up. And what I can show you here is actually the Pandaren racial activatable ability, which is the Quaking Palm. And what that does is it strikes the target with a lightning speed, incapacitating them for 4 seconds, and turns off your attack. So it's just a basic stun, and we'll go ahead and use it on this guy here. You notice he's now stunned, and I'm not attacking. But if I do attack him, it goes ahead and breaks that stun. So that has some interesting utility to it. You could bandage for a few seconds, I suppose, if you wanted to. Or just stun a mob if you have several different mobs fighting you, so that you don't have to, you know, take a little less damage. And then again, standard with any low level, you regen health really quick. So if you get hurt, you can just stop fighting for a bit. You do actually come with some food when you start the Pandaren that does actually give you some bonus stats. For the monk, it is agility. However, for a warrior or, say, mage, you're going to get, you know, strength or intellect accordingly to that class. So that's a kind of cool little bonus thing they decided to add for the Pandaren starting area. Alright, here's something interesting. When we got this quest, it actually said we were going to get bracers, but now it's giving us a belt. So it's actually just labeled wrong when you accept it. You know, this quest is kind of cool. This little light in his hand, you actually have to grab it. Yeah, I mean, it's not that hard to do. I mean, I just grabbed it there. Okay, actually, never mind. They changed that since I did my last playthrough. I just automatically grabbed it there. Beforehand, you actually track it and grab it with a little icon. And it wasn't much to it, but it was interesting. And what we now do is run to the top of this tower, and we're going to burn this edict here. And basically what we're doing is burning a peacetime edict because war times are coming. Another really interesting thing, when that beta invites had just gone out and we had about 400,000 people in the beta, this area right here had about, again, like 200 to 300 Pandaren in it. Just wall-to-wall Pandaren. You could not see the edict. You actually had to glitch it to get it to work properly so you could click that edict and move beyond this area. Otherwise, your other option was to just literally log out and not play, which was quite frustrating. What I'm going to do now is turn in this quest, and we're going to move on to the next guy. And what we need to do now is defeat another initiate. But this guy's a little harder, and he's just down these stairs. But before I go to beat him, we're going to take another look at the scenery around here. It's, again, just quite beautiful. You know, we got some Asian-inspired architecture, with the Pandaren symbol all over the place. We've got some basic trainees over here fighting. The waterfall here, very good looking. I mean, it looks better than any waterfall I've seen in World of Warcraft before. I mean, not a huge leap, but it definitely looks better, and I'm never going to complain with that. What I am noticing, and I don't know how that goes into the lore, but it definitely seems that there are mists around the Wandering Isle. Now, do those mists pertain to the mists around Pandaria? I'm not sure, and maybe we'll find out later on down the road. So here is our Jamin Ro that we need to defeat. I'm gonna go ahead and punch him and whatnot here. What you'll notice is the other player here fighting me, or fighting alongside of me. Whoa, he's gonna jump up like that every once in a while and knock you back quite a bit. But yeah, the player here fighting me, she's actually gonna get credit as well. So we both just completed the quest, and we don't have to wait in line for tapping and whatnot. So that's very nice, and it works similar to what group quests and elites do in the current World of Warcraft client. So turn in this quest, get some nice hand guards, and we're gonna move on to the next area. This time we're going to look for the Alliance friendly, the Alliance representative of the Pandaren. Now, she isn't yet Alliance, of course, so we're just going to meet her for the first time. Another thing I do want to show you is the belt on the Pandaren. You see it bouncing quite a bit there, and I'll actually stop, and you can just see it wiggle around. It appears that Miss Pandaria, we're going to get some very fancy belts with three-dimensional pieces to them that bounce around and wiggle and stuff like that. And that's also quite what appears to be done, excuse me, that also appears to be what they're doing with hair as well. Now this guy's ponytail doesn't move very much, but if you open up some of the Pandaren females, their bangs and stuff will move and toss around. It's really cool. So we'll come down to Merchant Lorbo here. Now what you can see is, I'm not quite sure how to say her name, so I'm just going to say Asa. So you can see her out on the lily pads out there, and she's busy meditating or something like that, probably doing exercises. So for the meantime, we are going to do some quests for this merchant. So he needs us to recover his supplies, and he also needs us to look for his missing driver. So we'll set out to find him. He's probably up to no good, getting into shenanigans or something. You will see a recycled fox model there. Here's some of the new sprite scamps. We'll go find our own that's not tapped to kill. But you can also notice they're carrying kegs around and stealing things. They're up to shenanigans, getting in trouble. Here's some we can kill. Now, I don't know if their model is going to be used throughout Pandaria. I would assume it would be. They're not just going to be unique to the Wandering Isle. So we should see more of those in the future, especially if you aren't a Pandaren, since this area is going to be locked off once you leave it. Oh, and what you'll also notice, somewhat amusing, we're looking for training supplies, and the training supplies happen to be kegs of beer. It definitely seems to be in the Pandaren nature, even more so than dwarves, that drinking is the thing. Oh, and you'll notice that scamp using a mug to fight as a weapon. So, actually, here's our merchant's guy. The driver, I believe, of the car. That's who we were looking for. So, get these guys out of the way. Oh, and we do have level 3 now. And so we have a new ability called Tiger Palm. And Tiger Palm is an attack with the palm of your hand. It doesn't deal 0 damage. I'm not quite sure why it's saying that. It actually deals a decent amount of damage. What it does is it uses your chi. So you'll notice my 4 orbs here. That's actually my chi. And using jab generates chi. So Tiger Palm is a pretty nice ability. It allows you to give that chi dump among other abilities like heroic strike or on warriors and whatnot. And you'll also notice it does deal additional damage if the target's above 50% health. And later on I do get an ability that does more damage for targets below, I believe, 35% health. So that will balance out. And so we're going to turn these quests into the Merchant Lorvo guy. And you'll also notice that Asaya is done with her meditation or her exercises. Put on that cloak. And we're actually going to just want to show you one more thing before I go here. The cloak animation on the Pandarians is amazing. Look at this. It's like I'm a little superhero. They flutter in the wind, and I'm just going to take off, and it's great. To actually see it interacting and doing more than just kind of sitting behind you, I love it. So I will show you Tiger Palm and the next quest in the next playthrough. So for now, this has been part 2 of my Pandaren Monk playthrough. I'm Zoronden, and I hope you tune in for more.